What's up, my crypto legends? In today's episode, I have Nathalie from Bitcoinsensus. Now, you got her link down below in the description. She does amazing technical analysis on Bitcoin and altcoins. Nathalie, how are you doing today?
I'm good. It's my birthday today, so I'm super happy. Don't tell them how old I am because they want to know.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Well, Nathalie is today going to talk about Bitcoin. She's going to do a little bit of technical analysis on Bitcoin. That's what I want you to do. If you can, do look at the long term, short term, what is going on, what is going to happen. Is the downtrend going to continue? What levels we need to break? I don't know. Just if you can share the charts and tell us all about what you think is going to happen, Nathalie, that'd be absolutely great.
Absolutely, Andy. I hope you're good. Thank you for being on your channel.
You're very welcome. I mean, I'm always glad to get you on the channel. I know your analysis is great. I jump onto your live streams as well, which is fantastic.
Thank you. Well, overall picture on Bitcoin, the first thing that I'm seeing, so this is on the weekly chart. So this is very important for me to see that we did have a head and shoulders right here. And we are having the neckline around 42,300. So it's just not just one price, it's a level, but around that. So we can see the previous support that we did have, and we did break that one. So last week, 2 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, we did break it, came back down. So that is just for me to have an oversight on what's actually going on. And usually a head and shoulders, we're coming up to retest the previous or the support that we did break, or the neckline, whatever you want to call it. We potentially can come up to that level. We don't have to do that. So that is why I'm going to the lower time frame. And as you guys all know, I use the Fibonacci as always. So I take the Fibonacci from the previous lower high that we did have to the previous lower low, because that's how I'm using the Fibonacci. And I'm doing it on the daily chart because we can see now that the market is having a bigger pullback. So sometimes you can have a small pullback like this, but now we're actually having a bigger one. So the market did create a lower low, and market is now up to create a lower high if we're not just breaking all of these different levels. But that is the first thing I'm looking at, because the overall picture, we are still creating lower lows and lower highs because we're still below this trend line, as we all can see. And so this is the short-term targets I'm looking for right now. I'm just giving the overview. But on the lower time frames now, what I see is that we are heading up to the lower high that I did take on the daily. And we can still see on the 4-hour chart that we are maintaining higher highs and higher lows. I do believe that we can break the support trend line that I'm having and just have a little bigger pullback. But I can definitely see Bitcoin coming up to 39,500 or 40,500. And that was something that you also spoke to me about in the beginning, that you also believe the market can potentially come to that level.
Yeah, exactly. I think this is what I've been doing a video yesterday about, that I think there's potentially another leg up to those fib levels also. And we do have also the support back from January, from lows that we created, that will be have a resistance right now at that range. And if we get consolidated around that area, in my opinion, I think we could continue the trend down. I was saying to my community, I am bullish in the immediate short term, like in hours, between today and tomorrow. But I think, overall, the trend is to the downside. So what levels, Nathalie, do you think, we need a break to potentially change the trend to the upside?
To the upside, so it all depends on if we potentially see the market now coming up and give us a lower high. I do believe we can come up and create a lower high and then come back down. To what level? Definitely coming back down to the support that we're having, or this week that we're having around 32,900, around that level. Always go back to the left. We can also come back down to this support at 29,800, around that. But if we are breaking the trend, so if we would potentially now create a lower high, we have to break the last lower high for us to be in a uptrend, or to see that we potentially can create a uptrend. So in this case, if we are not creating a lower high around this level that I was speaking about, because we see the market now breaking everything, The last lower high that we're having on the daily chart is for the 3,600 or 700. So at that point, we have to break that level because that is breaking the downtrend that we're having. And that's how market structure is working. We have to break the previous lower high and then see market creating a potential higher low, and some around, usually near that level, but we definitely have to break it, find a lower high, and then you're having the confirmations that we're actually on our way up. But the thing is also, if we would see that happening, and if we see the break of this level, usually the market goes back down again. So everyone who thinks the market now will break to the upside gets trapped, and the market comes back down. You see the retest, market comes back down to the support, and then market goes back up. So even if we would now from nowhere see the market having the momentum to the upside, I wouldn't jump into the conclusion, or I wouldn't look at it as a uptrend. I have to take a step back and actually see what's happening, so I'm not getting trapped with all of those people, because we all know that trading is it's very easy to get faked out.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I'm telling you what I tell my community all the time. I don't usually break out trades because there are so many fake outs especially in Bitcoin and crypto. Basically, I want to see a little bit of confirmation, break, with volume, consolidate, have a retracement, and then potentially create that higher low, and then a little bit of more price action to see that confirmation of the trend reversal. Yeah,
exactly. So just for example here, even if we saw a small pullback, so before the market breaks to the upside like this, we usually have 2 touches of the same support, and then market goes up. So that is why I do believe if we are soon seeing the market breaking to the upside, if that will happen, even if it's on this low, or maybe we'll have another support, I do believe that we will see 2 touches, 2 legs, and then you see the market breaking. I do not believe that we will just break from nowhere to the upside, because that's not usually how it works. You can just see here also, you can see that we had one resistance, we came up one last time, and then market broke to the downside. And it's just the same thing when you're coming to the support. You will have the same thing. You just might have 2 or 3 touches before the market actually reverses. And it happens on every time frame, but the higher time frames is obviously the one that we are following to see what direction we're heading to, but it usually happens on every time frame.
Yeah. I totally agree with that, because usually you don't have just one test and then you turn around. You need to test it to see if the bears have strength to continue. And when they don't have that strength, retesting that level is when you have that potential reversal. So yeah, that's why I think, I'm immediate short term slightly bullish. I do see that leg up to retest those major resistance levels, and then potentially come back down to that 33K level to retest those lows that we did create here in January. So immediate short term bullish, bearish?
Short term bullish, yes. Just looking at this, obviously now I want to see how this trend line is holding. I do believe that we can break it. So usually I'm jumping in between. So this is the thing. So we came up to a previous resistance that we did have. So I definitely can see that we are. So what I did was that I was looking at the daily, and I'm just going to adjust it a little bit, because usually when I'm dragging my Fibonacci, I'm having it to the bodies, and everyone does it differently. So that's just how I do it. And sometimes I'm using the wicks, but I could definitely see a push back down to maybe 36,300 or 36,700, and then see the market breaking to the upside. So I do believe that this support trend line that I'm having will break. So if I see the breakup of it, I could potentially trade it back down to this level, and then have my take profit, and then see what's happening around it. So short term, I do believe, even if this is the daily, but I have to follow the higher time frames, I do believe that we can see a push to the downside, but be bullish in the beginning of the week, or at short term, just a pullback, then bullish until we're coming to the higher time frames Fibonacci levels. And just I know this looks, it's so many things on the charts right now, so I can just try to clean it up. But the Fibonacci that I'm having on the higher time frames on the daily, it's combined. So when I'm taking my trade, sometimes I'm using my Fibonacci as take profits also. And you can see that the minus 75 is just combined where the higher time frames lower high 61.8% is. So everything is just connected with each other. So I definitely believe that we can have a pushback down and then see market continue to the upside. So that is what I see. So just a higher low be created to create a higher high, and around these levels, just as you were speaking about, we can potentially see the market consolidate and then break to the downside. So bullish, but just for the pullback.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because the overall trend is to the downside. And like I said,
Exactly.
you're fighting the trend. If you're long in here, you are at extreme risk because you're basically fighting the trend. Nathalie,
Exactly.
thank you very much for joining.
Thank you so much.
I hope we can do another collaboration very, very soon. Guys,
Yes.
The link of Nathalie's channel is down below. Make sure to follow her. She does insane technical analysis every single day. And she also does live streams to connect with her community. So make sure to check it out. Subscribe to her channel. Thank you, Nathalie, and I'll see you in the next one.
Thank you, Andy. See each other on my next birthday. Okay. So see you each other in 1 year. Just joking.
Bye, Nathalie.
Have a good day. Bye-bye, Andy.